What's up, everybody? Another day with hanging with Mark and Dougie, man. Lots of great stories. Oh, man, there's some really good stories this time. Really, really good stories. I had an interesting week. Went on a 10-day cruise. It was awesome, man. My parents' 65th anniversary. Kind of relaxed. Lost a little too much money in the casino, but that's okay. That's part of the cruise line. They offered me plenty of cruises when I was done with that cruise because
Yeah.
I dropped a little bit more than I wanted to. But hey, that's what happens when you're stuck, for 9 days on a boat. What'd you
Mark
do,
Mark gets
Doug?
a lot of Mark gets a lot of comps for losing, man.
Oh, yeah,
He's
exactly.
like,
Well, you don't get comps for winning, so you only get comps. Listen, casinos were built on losers, not winners. Nobody has a
yeah,
system. Nobody has anything. You can't win. It's impossible. You can
absolutely.
get lucky one time, but they will get you. They'll
Yeah.
always get you. I love people's Vegas stories where the first day they're up 10 grand, and by the end of the day they're selling their sandals. By the third day
Yeah.
they're broke, and that's how
Yeah.
casinos normally run. What about you? What'd you do, Doug? How was your
Well,
week?
listen, it's interesting because it's holiday season, which means it's time for holiday cards, my clients and things like that. And I handwrite them because I don't have that many clients. But man, I mean, I used to have those things like the Leukemia Foundation that sends you your address. Like you could just, the return address, you could just like stick it onto the envelope and shit. I don't know what happened.
Doug,
Did
is
we
that
not
is
give
that
enough
your
money?
masturbating hand? Is that your masturbating hand? Because that's how
Listen,
your hand
I,
normally looks.
listen, I'm ambidextrous, bro. Yeah. Sometimes I'll use both. I'll have them fight over it. And yeah, and so I'm writing just like, and you forget, like I'm trying to like write script and not script, like cursive. Oh my god, it's like I'm brain dead. Like I'll be in the middle of writing a word like dear. All of a sudden my hand can't even. I'm like scritchy scratch. Is that an A or a U or an F? And
Does anybody
shit.
write cursive anymore? I don't think this generation even knows what cursive is. I
Yeah.
don't think this generation knows what cursive is. I don't think they teach it in school
No.
anymore. So
No,
your
they
clients
don't.
better
They
be
just
older clients.
they don't care how you write or if you can read or do any math as long as you question your gender. That's all that
Yeah,
matters nowadays in schools.
yep. That's the main subject is gender.
Yeah.
The gender is the main subject in school. So we
Yes,
all
and
know
be
that. We have a
kind to
lot of
transgenders. Be kind to transgenders. That's all that
not
matters.
regular people, just them. Then
Yeah,
nobody
fuck
else.
the
Everybody
regular
else can be an
people.
asshole too.
Eh,
Everybody else be an
Regular
asshole
people.
too.
Yeah, regular people deserve to be shit on. Shit the fuck on them because they're mean to transgenders.
Exactly.
But make sure you kiss the ass of when you see a transgender, just rip your fucking wallet out and give them money. Here you go. I feel so
Yes.
sorry
Just
for
take
you.
care.
There
Yep.
you go.
We're not doing
Yeah,
enough. We have to do more. All right.
yeah.
That
There's got
being
to be more.
said, we're gonna talk about a little lighter subject. We're gonna talk about the World Cup, and I'll tell
Oh,
you what, man. I'm surprised. Did Argentina win today? Did Argentina win? I didn't get to see it.
yes. They
Argentina won.
beat
Good, good,
Croatia's ass.
good. Because Argentina, I think, is the only suspect that we expected. Like we expected Brazil to be in it. Like I'm really
Mm,
shocked that Brazil's not in. I'm really shocked because
yeah.
they're always in the finals or semifinals or they go deep, right? They're pretty solid team, and they lost
And
to I think Croatia, right?
Well, was it Croatia? Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Surprisingly, like, and then Morocco. I guess was it Morocco? Morocco's a surprise, and
yeah.
Morocco is going to play Argentina. No, Morocco's playing. I'm sorry, next tomorrow.
France
Actually,
is it
or
France?
today.
Is France still in it?
France. Yeah, it's going to be
Yeah, yeah,
France and Argentina in the finals.
yeah. That'll be a good game, and
That,
that's what kind of what
yeah,
you expected, somewhat.
yeah, but yeah, it is interesting to see Brazil gone. It's like
Yeah,
they're the
yeah.
favorite. They're the favorite. They thought they're gonna, and they kick. Boom, gone. Neymar is like,
And the United States got knocked out pretty quick, didn't they? United States got knocked out pretty quick.
well, they made it to the second round. And they made it to the next round, but they just couldn't put the ball behind in the net. That's it.
Yeah.
Young
They usually
players.
have
It was
somebody
good though.
Yep, it's always nice to see them. So we're going to get to it. What I think is pretty much the main story, that we're going to have today, and that I could spend the whole show talking about this. But
Hmm.
man, I mean, I'm going to tell you how I feel. In about a minute, real quick. Listen, we got someone home. Good, good. I mean, she shouldn't have been in prison for 10 months. I get it. But come on, guys, not for anything. If it's illegal to skip in Russia, I'm not skipping. Okay. She broke the law. I don't care what the law is. If you can't smile after midnight, you can't smile after midnight. Whatever rule they have, you have to stick by it. It's their country. Okay. Drugs in a lot of country are death. You die when you bring drugs in. So this wasn't that heavy of a sentence. Okay. And here's the main problem I have more than anything. More than anything. No, this is a big problem.
one,
You
one
left
day in a
people.
Russian one day in a Russian prison is horrible enough, dude.
I don't
I
give a
mean,
shit. You broke the law.
for
You broke the law.
drugs.
We'll get past. I don't give a shit. That's their rule. That's their rule. Okay, let's get past that. Okay, here's the real problem. You got Fogel and you got Whalen. Okay, Fogel was in for the same thing she was in, but he had a doctor's note because he had a spine injury. He had medical marijuana. He's been in since 2018. Okay, what's wrong with getting him out first? She's been in a lot less time. He was there from that same crime. Or we can go and get a veteran. How about not getting a veteran out? How about getting a Marine out? A Marine out. How about getting him out? This has to be the worst trade in the history of trades. And listen, there's not a lot of
Hmm.
trades in the WNBA. So this is probably the only trade
Yeah.
that's ever made the headlines, first of all. And second of all, this was just the dumbest thing you could ever by the way, the kicker, you let out a terrorist. You let out a terrorist. You didn't let a guy for jaywalking. They made a movie about this guy with Nicolas Cage, The Merchant of Death. I mean, that's a serious name, The Merchant of Death. I mean, come on, man.
Mm.
This was ridiculous, ridiculous, ridiculous. I don't care if she ever came back. She broke the law. I don't care how stupid the law is. You know the rules. You're going to Russia. This is a place that you really got to be careful where you go. I wouldn't go in the first place. But I hate this trade. I hate what they did, and I think it's ridiculous. And it's a slap in the face for all Americans. All Americans got slapped in the dick today. They did.
Well, unless
They
you're
did.
a lesbian, black woman, and WNBA player, then. Well, listen. Here's the thing. I can only imagine. Could you imagine one day Brittany Griner, who we're discussing? Can you imagine one day she turns on the news and 3,000 people were killed with a terrorist act that was basically pushed forward because of this guy? So
yeah.
you're free. Could you imagine any death that this guy has any part of this moving forward? Brittany Griner needs to know that
It's on her.
life
It's on her.
is
Yep.
on her. And I
this
mean,
is
she
not.
didn't listen.
But
I'm just saying. I don't care. I'm not. It really should be on Biden, but Biden has no concern about lives. But it's yeah. Release the guy who's been in jail for a long time, who served this country, who bled for this country, and let's free him. But you remember, it's funny too, because when they said originally they were asked their choice, and they oh no, we didn't have a choice. They were said take this or nothing to defend them.
Mhm. Yeah, and here's the kicker, the real kicker. Whatever happened? I was in the military. I served our country. What happened that you don't negotiate with terrorists? Whatever happened that? Didn't we have people beheaded in the Middle East? Didn't we have that? And we couldn't negotiate because we don't negotiate with terrorists. That's the key thing now. Any fucking American that goes to any country can get locked up for anything, jaywalking, anything. What happened to Otto Warmberger, whatever his name was? Otto. Nobody knows his name. I know his name, but not many people. Whatever happened to him? We didn't try and do it. Trump got his dead body back. Yeah, Trump got his dead body. It was too late. But Barack Obama and I think it was Obama's watch. He didn't try and get him out. Wasn't the right choice. Okay, and this poor kid was abused and he was murdered, in cold blood. And we knew he was there. We didn't do anything for him. You don't negotiate with terrorists. That's the first thing. You don't negotiate, especially for this piece of shit, because she's a piece of shit. I'm sorry. Okay. Especially for this piece of shit. You don't negotiate with terrorists. This was a bad thing. And you know what's funny about this? Biden and that administration thought they were going to get a big coming out party. And you know what? They didn't get it. I mean, you got people of all colors and all races that are pissed about this. Pissed. I don't care if you're black, white, green. I don't care what you are. You should be pissed about this. You should be mad about this.
The Biden administration is already having to answer, for their identity politics by choosing that free-flowing guy, bald guy who wears the makeup and the horrible dresses for stealing people's luggage. They finally had to let him go. And now even the LGBTQ community got mad at Biden and the administration, going, you guys got to vet us a little better to not make us look so bad. That was a funny, like the LGBTQ says, hey, who the fuck chose to pick this numbskull? And I'm like, they should have just looked at the guy's Facebook. You want somebody to be working for the government and nuclear waste, the elimination of nuclear waste that goes on Facebook, and all he does is proclaim, I'm gay, I love dressing like a woman, I'm fluid. Yeah, fuck. I mean, great, good for you, but is this the person you want to working for an important part of our government? I mean,
and I think it's backfiring, Doug. Matter of fact, I don't think it is. It is backfiring. I think a lot of the things they're doing, even the people, maybe not the far left, because they're you can't help them. There's no help for them.
Yeah,
Okay, but even the people towards the left, lean towards the left, and in the middle of the left, they're all coming out and saying, I can't believe how many people have come out about this Brittany Griner thing, saying that this is bullshit, and it's great. I'm
yeah,
so glad that some Americans are waking up. And this person
yeah,
couldn't give two fucks about America. Didn't stand for the flag.
yeah,
Doesn't care. Why not let a Marine out? Why not let somebody that actually loves our country, that actually went to prison because of our country? They said he was a spy. So why not
yeah,
let that person out? The ball was completely dropped out. The trade was bad. Everything was bad about this. Everything. It was rushed. It wasn't
mm,
thought out. It was ridiculous. They thought they were going to get they would get more out of it, and they got nothing out of it. So
yeah. And
we'll
the
see.
story you put was basically how now America's going to have to protect her. Like they have a reason. Like people like they were looking at security not from Russia, but they think Americans, the alt rights, and going to go after this woman and try to kill her now at a like, which is
I
wrong.
don't
I
see
mean,
that
no,
happening. But
no,
that's wrong.
well,
That's
I don't
definitely
either.
wrong.
But the
I
left,
mean,
the
it's not
left is going to want to
listen,
tail
it's not
that.
her fault. It's not her fault, okay?
No,
It's the administration's fault, okay? I'm not blaming her. She could have rotted another 5 years. I wouldn't give a rat's ass. There's too many other people that I care about that need to come out. There's people in the United States that have crimes like her in prison. Well, why not
yeah,
take care of our own, okay? So
mm.
the message was poor on this one. It didn't come through.
All
And
right,
the good thing about
all right.
this is a lot of people are finding that out.
Yeah, and by the way, it's also the Democratic Party, even though they're celebrating the lack of a red wave this past November. A lot of things are coming out of the last election. Young people are falling away from the Democratic Party. More and more young people are going, look, this is a bunch of bullshit. Let's hope they get their shit together too.
Yeah. Yep. I'll let you get the next
Well, enough about Brittany Briner. Now this is amazing to me because this is like this was the news that America may be on the cusp of eliminating oil and all kinds of other energy, but the U.S. expected to announce major nuclear fusion energy breakthrough, and they did. For those of you dummies that don't know what we're talking about, like me, basically the idea of fusion is that if you produce more energy than it is to use the energy to produce it, that's like a multiplier. That's the things that just begets itself, right? And so hey, they're able to use a certain laser to add atoms, and now there's energy built and it with less energy. So we could be a
Well,
decade away from all having a flux capacitor.
nice. We could go to a
Yeah.
different time. We go to a different time warp.
I don't know about that yet. Don't get crazy, Mark. But listen, if you get a
Hey, I'm
flux
thinking big.
capacitor, if you get a next, you can get her on your next Ford Bronco. Just get the flux capacitor and never have to use fuel again.
Well, this country does well. This administration doesn't like resources. We don't like resources, So, it's only so far we can advance when you don't like resources. So we'll see what happens with that.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, well, that's it. It's all like technology and shit. So that'll be
Well, here,
amazing. That's amazing.
yeah, I'm going to do the next story because I'm so surprised. I always say they'll never take a Democrat person down. I always say that because, Hillary Clinton and the Biden administration and all these people on the left have done so many crimes, and they just never get investigated. Well, here finally, good news. Finally, good news. Okay. The guy that was the Bernie Madoff, the mini Bernie Madoff with the crypto and all that, they
SBF,
finally got him.
man, SBF.
Yep. They
Sam
finally got
Bankman-Fried.
him. Yep, they finally got him in custody. So I was very
I mean,
surprised. Maybe Hunter is
why
next.
wouldn't
Maybe
why
Hunter
wouldn't you let this guy handle billions? Look at this guy. Look at him.
is next.
Why wouldn't you want this guy to manage billions of dollars? Look at
And
that
it took a
face,
long time to
trusting.
get this guy. We knew this for a long time. And the reason why it took so long, there's a lot of pockets that got lined with that man's money.
Hmm?
A lot of pockets. And a lot of
Yeah,
pockets on the left, not so many on the right. A lot of pockets on the left. One of the biggest contributors to the Democratic Party. One of the biggest. Soros, him, very big contributor. And for a long time, they tried to hide this, but it spread too quick. They had to do something. They had to. So
yeah.
we'll see what comes. No names will come out. You won't hear any names. You won't hear the Clintons. You won't hear any of the names that he helped fraud. You're not going to get any of those names, but at least you'll get him put away. That's a good. And maybe who knows? Maybe Hunter's next. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, the
I was
question
shocked.
with this guy, is he's definitely in bed with those circles of people, and it does how who knows because this guy's such a weasel, and his parents went to his aid who are law professors, and he let everything out. He was out there speaking on national TV, just digging a bigger hole for himself, and he's going down. And the question is, his family this person may have dirt on other people. So this may be
Oh, sure enough.
a ever unfolding case to see why this guy was so eager to get caught in a sense.
Well, that's if they
Oh,
want to unfold it. It's only unfolding if you want to unfold it. Giselle Maxwell is a big case to unfold. That never got unfolded. Something's
yeah.
only unfolds if you want it to be unfolded. Okay.
But
Let
looks
me tell
like
you something.
look what's going on with Twitter. Holy shit! All the things that happen, and people are like, oh, it's just there's just more and more shit that's going to come out, and eventually it's too much. You have to answer for it. That's what's going
Yes.
to happen.
Eventually, I think this came too big. Too many people got hurt. And it finally came to point. This has been a long time. It finally came to point. We'll see. We'll see what sentence he gets. We'll see
Yeah.
what sentence he gets. We'll see how harsh it is. I'm sure Biden might, maybe have something to do with getting him out. We'll see what happens. We'll see.
I don't know about that.
I
Any money laundering, fraud, to concede. I mean, he can spend life in prison. For
he won't.
any money laundering, and for was like 25-year minimum. So
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
see what happens.
We'll see. We'll see on that one. The next story we'll talk about is General Petraeus. He was talking about vaccines for all military. So I don't know how that works. I don't know how you could force people to get the vaccine anymore. I mean, first of all, you don't even hear about COVID anymore. I don't know you would force me to get a vaccine. You don't force me to get the flu shot. I don't know why you would force me to get a vaccine. I don't know how that, I don't think it'll ever come through. I know he's trying to do it. So I
Well, it
doubt
is
it'll
the
be.
problem. The problem is they've mandated that there's a recruitment slowdown with the American military, U.S. forces. The less people are going in and enlisting than ever in history, and of course with the mandate, these are people that may have natural immunity and all kinds of fucking reasons. I'm not going to get the jab. Well, if you want to be in the military, you got to get a
You have to
jab.
get it
Well,
anyway. You shouldn't have to get it anyway. It should be choice. It's choice for
well, that's the
everything else in
thing
life.
that they're still standing by that mandate. There was a lot of people let go. A lot of thousands of people in the military let go or on leave
Yeah.
until they figured out.
Yeah, I for me, like I said, I did get the shot because I was talked into it somewhat. I didn't know enough about it in the beginning. I would never do it now. And I know people that have complications from it. And either way, it shouldn't matter. It should be choice. Everything else is choice on the stupid planet. So why shouldn't that be choice? So I don't get it. You can
Yeah.
abort a baby at 7 months, but you have to get a shot. I don't know how that works, but
Yeah.
somehow it's working.
Yeah.
The president's done it again. He set another record. Inflation is the
Yeah.
highest it has been in the last 40 years. He set it right. He's not doing too bad. He's setting a lot of records, Doug. We're dogging this guy out a lot. He's setting a lot of records. This is a record, I don't know if it's a good record, but it is a record. You got to give him some credit.
Well,
So,
listen. In all due honesty, I didn't get to look at the state because today the CPI on Tuesday the CPI number came out, Consumer Price Index, and it was lower than expected. So we are seeing a deceleration in inflation. And it may have peaked, and the question is how much will it come down, or will it rebuild? So, so this has got to be.
I don't know what you're looking at, what report you're looking at, but I go shopping every day. Meat has
Oh,
gone
it's up.
up.
There's definitely inflation, but I think we're in a
Crazy.
new norm. I think that, remember, in all fairness, we've gone from a 0% interest rate up until now 6, 7. The inflation numbers. So it's going to be a different time. And people are going to have to get used to that. We won't see. Hopefully, in the next year or so, we won't see 7, 8. We'll see 5 to 6. But nevertheless,
Unfortunately, we didn't have this a couple of years ago when we had another man in office. So that's all I can say. I'll leave it at that.
I mean, listen. As much as I like that, sometimes the way the economy goes, But yes, I wasn't happy with all the money that the last stimulus package, which not needed, did not to go in there. It could have saved some points on the inflation numbers, but they would have been there either way. This is the way it goes.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna let you do the next story, Doug.
What is this one? Oh yeah, this is great. Well, a blind couple and their baby were stopped from boarding 2 separate flights after airline tried to make them pay for an escort. You want to get on this plane? Yes, we have tickets. Would you like for an escort? Yes, thank you. That's $400.
That's crazy.
I didn't, like you think about that. If you're blind, most blind people have somebody, right? That they like an escort or somebody like a valet or, an assistant, right? That'd be really bad if you go to the airport and somebody's like walking I'm like looking around. Where's TSA? I need to get. I mean, I don't know. Is that supposed to be free? I guess it should be, right? I mean,
I
it
mean,
should be
you would think
free.
they yeah, or either that or you would think the airline would have somebody for that too. I know they have people where they push people in wheelchairs, and half the people that aren't
Right.
even handicapped, just big fat people that don't want to walk. So they're not even handicapped and they're walking them around. So I don't know see why they can't really help a true handicapped person out. And
When they reach the gate,
maybe if it was a trans blind person, we'd have more
yes.
help.
Yeah, if they
We
would have
need
put
more
a rainbow
trans blind
flag
people.
on the baby, they would have put a
Exactly.
rainbow flag on the baby. They
Yeah,
would have got. Um,
exactly.
yeah,
They should have done that.
when they reached the gate, the staff refused to let them board unless they paid for an escort. Hey, who hasn't paid for an escort?
Right.
250
Different type of
bucks usually.
escort.
Is that a different? Could you imagine the blind guy going, "Yeah, I'd love an escort." He pulls down his pants. Not that kind of escort, sir. Um, yeah, they would be involved in buying another seat. So you got to get
I think
somebody.
that's wrong.
Listen,
I
you
think
want to?
that's wrong. You know
Well,
why it's wrong?
I
I'll tell
mean,
you why it's wrong, Doug. You know why it's wrong? First of all, it's a handicapped person. You take care of the handicap, first of all. You should have the airline should have somebody for that. And you know what I have a problem with? People that weigh like 700 pounds that take up 2 seats that get charged for one
oh,
seat. I was sitting there and there, half their ass cheek is on me and half their ass cheek. That person should pay for 2 seats, not a blind person,
yeah,
you know? So I have a problem
yeah,
with that. We should take care of our handicapped people. We should have a service for them for free, you know, and
mm,
that's it. And that's an easy one. That's not a hard one. We
yeah,
shouldn't tax the handicap.
yeah. They, you never know. I mean, yeah, I always feel bad for those people that need the extension on the seatbelt.
I
Oh, that's
don't.
got to be rough.
I
I
don't
mean,
feel bad because they did it themselves.
I do feel bad. I do feel bad that they're that fat in heaven. Like like if I went there and I went, oh, I can't get this thing on. I had to get an extension. That'd be it. I wouldn't eat chocolate for like a year. You know what I mean? Like
That's you.
I would.
That's you.
Yeah. I would be
I
like,
had a
that's
lady
it.
one time. This is a true story. I had a lady one time. I swear, you could the true story. She was sitting there and she had a double extension. Okay, and her I couldn't even watch TV. It was JetBlue because her remote control was behind her neck, so I couldn't even get behind her neck to change the channel. I couldn't even because she was on 2 seats, and she was eating. I'm not making this up. She's eating chicken wings. She was getting fatter as she was sitting on the plane. It wasn't even like she
Ugh.
was even trying to do something. She wasn't even
Hmm.
trying. I couldn't watch TV, and this was a flight to Vegas. This was a 6-hour flight where I couldn't watch TV and I had to listen to this fat person eating chicken wings for 6 hours, and this was not a good thing. So no,
Wow.
I don't feel.
By the way, it was very nice. Somebody who was on their way to Iceland said, "I will take care of this," and they escorted them right into an Icelandic volcano. There you go.
There's good human beings out there. We do need to take
Yeah.
care of our veterans and our handicapped more than we need to take care of our
Yeah.
trans and our that because they could take care of themselves. We all
You
can take
like
care
you
of ourselves if we're handicapped.
That's right. If it starts with us, and like you said, Mark, like you got to be able to take care of yourself. You have to be a self-preservationist before you worry about anybody else. And this was an impressive story to me. Uh, a couple camping in the California wilderness find lost man who survived for weeks on half a jar of salsa. Salsa,
Wow. Did he have
you know?
chips? If you have chips, I
Yeah.
could see it. Without the
I
chips, I
think
can't do it, man.
Listen, there's never anything worse than when you get chips and salsa, and one of those are like you like. I'd rather get done with the chips and still have salsa than have chips left over and there's no salsa.
Oh yeah, yeah. You
You know what
need
I
the
mean?
salsa. Salsa,
And then it's like the
and they go
cheese.
they
Whenever
go
they
hand
give
in
you,
hand. You can't do without. Yep, sorry.
whenever you get salsa, like chips and cheese and salsa, there's never enough. What
No,
do they do? What people put like a little bit of the chip in and dip it? No, you coat that bitch. Just you try to hold as much cheese on that as you can, and then it's the next bite.
exactly.
Give us more cheese and salsa.
But you're
But
by.
could
So
you
listen,
imagine?
to all you people. So all you people out there, you can survive without eating every 2 seconds. You can.
Yes.
So that lady with the wings on the plane. I don't feel bad because she could have eaten a half a jar of
She
salsa for
couldn't
three
wait.
weeks
She
if
could
she had
wait
one
fucking
seat.
30
She would have had
minutes.
one seat instead of 2 seats. Exactly.
This
Exactly.
one guy,
So,
this one guy going like this out of a jar of salsa to survive in the woods.
yeah.
Thank
Oh, I'm full.
goodness.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
good.
Oh, that
Well,
was good.
does your
Good.
appetite change like later on, like when you get home and like, hey, here's a piece of cheese for you, honey. Oh, can you cut it in half and
Oh,
put it in a doggy bag? I mean,
let's take a
maybe your
little piece.
appetite changes. Exactly.
Yeah.
It probably does.
Yeah. He
Probably
only went
does.
down on
So
his
that's all you
wife for 10 seconds. That's it. That's all I got. No
gotta
more. I'm done eating. Uh, yeah. So good for him.
do. All right. Yep. So the next story I have This is the best seal. Okay, this
Yeah.
watch this. Actually, I watched this the other day. This is the former SEAL Chris Beck. That used to be a woman, and now he's a man again. That he,
He
he's
went
sorry that
back?
he went back. Yeah,
How can you
so
go
he's
back?
sorry. Well, I guess he got his this is surgery you can get where you can get your breast cut off and all that. But make a long story short, he did all that, and now he regrets it. And he's saying that we should not teach children about. There's one that was transgender. And let me ask a question. He's a what was he? He was a Navy SEAL. He was a trans SEAL, right?
Mhm.
He was a SEAL. So he was a former
Trans
SEAL. So
seal?
he's a
He was a
transformer.
trans
He's
seal.
a transformer.
Was it?
No, he's a transformer. He's one. He see me make a movie about that. Transformer 3
Yeah.
because he was a transformer.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. That was a pretty shitty joke. But make a long story short. Make a long story short. I just thought of that. But make a long story short. Here's a guy that went through everything, and he's telling you, listen, guys, I made a mistake. And he was an adult when he did that. He goes, I made a mistake. He goes, this was horrible, blah, blah, blah. And he's talked about it. I watched him the other day. And he regrets it. And he's saying, listen, this should not be taught in the schools. This is not for the weak heart. This is something I thought I wanted as an adult. And he
Mhm.
regrets it. He's like, why did I do this? That this is not what I
Yeah.
was. So this goes to
It
show
it
you out there, listen, this is a decision you have to make when you're older. You can't make this decision as a child because
you
here's an
can you
adult that's regretting it.
you can't even, it's hard enough to make as an adult. And
Yeah.
I've watched so many of these parents, the ones that are pushing it, the ones that are parents, you look at them and they're like closeted gay. Or saying, this woman on there is like, oh, my daughter, my daughter knew she was going to be a man. And you look at her, it's like, you want to be a man. Like,
She's pushing the agenda. She's pushing it.
yeah, they're pushing it
Yeah.
on their kids half the time, and it's amazing. And again, I've
Kids
said
don't.
this to the parents: for you parents who think your kids are old enough and mature enough and capable of making such a situation, then give them full right of power of attorney on your finances and give them health surrogacy on your well being. If a
Yeah.
12-year-old can make decisions, let them sign off a DNR if you go into the hospital. Give them the right to fucking unplug the shit because you fucking, you know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just crazy. And the reluctance of it, it's hard enough in that, to not feel comfortable in your own body has got to be traumatic. And whatever it causes, it's horrible. But Jesus goodness, let the kid live. It is an irrevocable decision. And law and finance is something called irrevocable. Irrevocable means you make that decision. There's like,
Final.
I don't know how that dude
Final.
went back. That guy's getting,
Yeah.
how many times can you, guy must have had a big dick, because if you chisel your dick off twice and you still got something left, I mean, fuck, good for him. But I mean, Jesus, like,
They would
you
give you a
can't.
discount, Doug. You get a discount, right? They did for you. They give
Yeah,
you a discount because
they look at me and they go, "Oh, we don't need to worry about that part."
he's
But
already a
he's ready.
woman. We don't have to worry about it.
He's got tits
It's
already, and he's got a pretty big. He's got a decent sized clit. I mean, this guy's ready. We just have to shave this beast, and he
Just
can be a
change his
woman.
name. We got put a wig and change his name. We're good.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
be $14, please.
Yeah. Here's a Bic razor and some Nair.
Yeah, you'll be done.
Save the
Easy
government plenty of
decision.
money in my transition. Heck yeah, man.
Oh shit. Yeah. No, it's true, man. Like you said, man, kids don't know at that age anyway. They don't. We didn't know
It's
that. I
nuts.
didn't know what sex was when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. But I
Parents
found
can
out when I
go
was
to
11, I'm
jail.
like,
Parents can go to jail for letting their child who's underage get a tattoo, but it's okay to let the kid to go without the permission of the parent through a school member, through a school board or teacher, to hide that from the shit and put the kid. This is what schools are doing. And this is, listen, God bless the LGBTQ community, the transgender community, for wanting attention to their plights, but you're fucking losing it. American people are enough already with this horseshit. They're like, oh, we're not grooming the young one, then stop fucking bringing them up with everything.
yep, yep.
Worry
Leave
about
them alone.
everything
Leave them
everything should
alone.
become from adult perspective. I want my kid to learn mathematics. I want my kid to learn
Yeah.
how to fucking read and comprehension and world history and all kinds. I don't fucking worry about, sometimes Johnny, Susan thinks she's Bill. Well, fuck, I'm not going to worry about all that shit. I got my own shit to worry about.
Do you know how many
You know?
kids are tomboys, girls that are tomboys at 10, 11, 12, and 13 become the hottest girls, and they're feminine, and they're tomboys at a certain age, because everybody goes through a phase. Okay, so those phases change. Your life changes. Everything goes through phases. I listened to Wham. I turned out okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
that was splendid.
that was last week.
Hey,
So I'm
before
okay.
you go,
So
go.
So everybody, listen. So everybody goes through phases. So let the kids be kids. Let them
Yeah.
enjoy their life. And if they come up with this issue, which they won't, 8-year-old's not coming to their parents. And by the way, Dad, I want to be Barbie. I know I'm Mike, but I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening. It's not happening. And if it is happening, it's in such small doses where it's not happening. So stop. So
Well,
stop
and the problem
already.
is that
Let kids
the,
be
the the problem is the growing concern of it's growing because it's becoming an attention getter for kids. They're like, oh my god,
Of course, you have it on
they,
every channel. Why wouldn't it grow? It's on every
yeah,
fucking channel. You can't watch a commercial without a guy and another guy kissing, or you can't. There's no commercials
yeah,
without it. So how can we get past it? It's not.
yeah.
It's normalized. It's the most normal thing on the planet. It's
Well,
more normal than being straight. Being straight is
mm,
not normal. You're
yeah,
abnormal if you're straight today.
you're a
Okay,
complete
so
fucking,
just so
you're a
you know,
fucking loon. Who do you like,
you're a
Doug? You
loon.
like chicks? What's wrong with you? You're a fucking
Hey,
loon.
22, 22 is not great to be a middle-aged white straight man. This is not a
Yeah.
good time, guys. Not a good
Well,
time.
I agree. Here's a story. Now this is amazing. Could you imagine being out like in the scenic in the mountains and shit, and all of a sudden you're watching, hey, look, that guy's climbing the rock, and then oops, and watching the guy
Wow,
falls to his death. The question you
wow.
have to ask yourself is, do you watch the body hit the ground? Because that's something you'll remember for the rest of your life. If you see a body
Yeah.
falling that far and hitting the ground, like, do you look away? Parents if your kids, you got to cover the kids' eyes. You got to make, if you want to make a decision for your kids, that's a good decision. Oh, I want my Johnny to experience this. I'm not gonna censor him. Next thing you know, Johnny's fucking killing dogs and drowning your family pet because he doesn't understand
No,
death now.
that will definitely seeing a death will definitely scar you. Definitely, I've seen it one time. I seen a guy die. I seen was driving and a kid got hit with a moped. He flew like 7 cars. I jumped out of the car, put my car in park. I ran out there. He was a wreck. He was already. I mean, he was half dead when I see him, but he died.
Yeah,
He ended up dying, and it's sad. The kid was like 18. It's the saddest thing. My dad watched 2 people jump off a bridge. My dad used to work on the bridges. He was a foreman for the bridges in New York, and he
yeah.
watched 2 people jump. And they were trying to talk, they jumped to their death. And that is very traumatic. It's a very traumatic thing. It really is.
That's the thing, But a whole
That's
group of see somebody, a climber, fall over 200 feet to his
terrible,
death.
terrible.
Yeah.
I can't even watch stuff like that. I don't like that. Remember they had faces of death and all. I don't want to see people die.
Well, yeah.
Unless
I
it's
mean,
Nancy Pelosi on that bridge. I really don't want to
oh
see
my
it.
God! Don't wish bad to anybody, even
Jesus.
her, Mark.
I'm joking. I'm joking. Half joking. But I'm kind of
Um,
joking.
and one of our last stories before we get to our question of the day, by the way, a topless bar unlawfully fired strippers after they complained about unsafe working conditions. Hey, you know what? We don't have enough of this. This. We don't have
Yeah, we
enough
don't have
fire
we don't have, we
extinguishers.
have enough Tabasco sauce for our drinks, but everybody's naked.
Yeah,
But they have
yeah,
that sometimes. You ever go to I went to a strip club one time and I was wearing a t-shirt and a hat, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't come in. You're not dressed right." I'm like, "Everybody's naked. Everybody's naked in the place. What's the difference how I'm dressed?" You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, they're breastfeeding.
Nothing.
They're breastfeeding people in there, but I can't have a hat on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
nothing better than going to a strip club with a pair of shorts on. Oh,
Yeah,
that's the way it goes.
got a little
They
room.
just Yeah, you got to show and just make it easy here. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Somebody's getting blowjob in the back of a strip club when they're like this.
I look around. But not for
It's
anything. I
coming.
always thought it was funny. I always thought it was funny that you have crazy dress codes. First of all, half the guys have their pants down to their fucking ankles. The guys, all that urban look is with the pants on their ankles anyway. So you can wear your pants to your ankles, but you have to have a collared shirt. And this country has
Yeah,
gone fucking berserk, bro. It's gone berserk. It has.
yeah. Strip clubs complaining about the conditions. And you want to read the question of the day because I don't know you
Yes,
understand, but
yes. I would love to. Let me put my glasses on because I'm old now and I can't see with
oh,
glasses.
here we go. Look
All
at the
right.
father time here.
There you go, baby. Would you
Jesus
like to have
Christ,
the
Mr. Magoo, Mr. Magoo.
I think I look like Jeffrey Dahmer a little bit with these glasses on.
Mr. Magoo, Mr. Magoo, you.
I can see the future with these things. All right, ready? Would
Jesus.
you like to have the ability to know what people are thinking? No, because I think I
Like,
know what people think already.
right. Well, that's
I
not
think
true.
I have.
But in other words, let's say like you can read somebody's mind no matter what. Like Mel Gibson was in that movie. You can read,
Yeah,
read
what women
women's mind.
want, what women think, whatever it
Yeah.
was. Yeah.
Right. Or anybody, because do you think like if you were given that the ability, like you couldn't turn it on and off, you just heard it. You just heard people's thoughts.
Nah,
I mean, you walk up to somebody, you want to know, or you wouldn't want it.
I wouldn't want to know. I wouldn't want to know because if I did know, I'd be getting a lot of fights. I'm like, what the fuck you say? I ain't saying nothing, bro. No, I know what you were thinking. I know what you were thinking. Yeah, I'd be like
Mark's
fighting everybody. I already want to fight everybody to start with, so
Yeah.
I really
Can you imagine?
want to know what people are thinking. I'd say no. It'd be too confusing. It'd be too much in my head. No.
Yeah, I'd be out eating dinner. Like, yeah, I'm gonna eat all this, motherfucker. Yeah, that's right. I know how much I ordered, bitch. You know what I mean? How dare you think of me that? Fuck you. You know what I mean? I mean, you'd be a poker king. I mean, that's the one thing. If you did it, you just want to play professional poker. You know,
if you're playing cards, that's yes. The answer is yes. If I'm doing something to like gambling or something like that, the answer would be yes on that. But you go up to a girl. I mean, I'm married, so I'm not trying to go up to a girl. But if you go up to a girl and then you know what she's thinking before, it'd be kind of, I don't know, it'd be kind of messed up, I think.
Yeah, you made it. It might be a good thing when you walk up to a woman and all of a sudden she goes, ugh. I just was wondering if you had the time.
No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying? As she walks up, oh, maybe I'll fuck this fat young guy.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll fuck this fat old guy. Hey, baby,
Maybe they'll say, you know what? I'm thinking of a Make-A-Wish a thing for this guy. Make-A-Wish. This is gonna be my one good. Hey, I'm ready. Check, please.
You know what? I'm feeling charitable. Okay.
Man. Well, that being said, our show is done. It's complete. I think we hit some great topics, man. We were gone for 3 weeks, so hopefully you guys subscribe and share, and we'll be back in 2 more weeks. It's nice to see more people watching the show. It's actually nice.
Yeah.
What about you,
share it with your friends and stuff. And I'm going to be this week is fun. On Thursday, I'm going to be in Columbus, Georgia, at the Loft, headlining the Comedy Zone there. And on Saturday, I'm going to be in Fort Walton Beach at the Block. Our friend Dina Guerra and some friends from school are going to be up to that show. Nice. So if you're in Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach over there in the Panhandle. Okay. Yeah. Nice, so they're there, and come out. Go to DougieAlmeida.com for more dates, and follow me on Instagram at Dougie Dangerous. Appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, go out and see if you get a chance. I've done it many times. It's great. Me, I'm at my shop. I'm always here. I'm here 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week. We're always buying and selling. We buy gold, silver, Rolexes. We buy baseball cards, memorabilia. Whether it's priced at $50 or $5 million, we'll buy it. So if you have something of value, bring it in. We will buy it. So that being said, everybody enjoy what you do. Keep hustling and just enjoy life. Boom.
Take care.